Reviewing 2025. Hi, I'm Louise from OTGrow. Welcome to our YouTube channel. So normally here we discuss tools, tips and techniques to make you an effective group facilitator. But for today we are having an overview about the year. What did 2025 teach us? What were our wins? What were our highs? But also there were moments of lows. And also what are we looking forward to 2026? So we're going to jump straight in. And before we start, I'd really, with deep gratitude, thank each one of our facilitators and co-facilitators that helped in the training in all our workshops, from projective techniques to introduction to psychodrama to our visiting guest therapists for the the OTGrow support group. And I'd like to mention our facilitators by name. So July Masango, Michael Fischer, Francesca Weir, Thomas van Vieren, Michelle van Vieren, Candice Mess, Annelie Meyer, and Divindri Pillay. So thank you very much, each one of you, for keeping to the quality and our promise of connection and quality training. So also with great gratitude and some of the highs was that we had extra workshops that we presented in the Eastern Cape, both in East London and Port Elizabeth, which was really great. Also that our relationship with one of the trusts in the UK is definitely maturing. It is developing more, and that is a high for us in our relationship with this particular trust. It is also really nice to see how therapists in the UK differ, our language differs, things like Koki and felt tip pens. And so there's small things that we've had to adjust, but it's wonderful to work with a different context and to see how therapists grow and mature. So that is one of our highs as well. Also, we thoroughly enjoyed, as OTGrow, hosting the conversations around the history of groups in South Africa to mark the 80th anniversary of OTASA. And it was wonderful to hear the stories of our very experienced and most of them by now retired occupational therapists and what they had to say and their memories. It felt like we were developing a collective memory for occupational therapists in South Africa around the history of groups. And what was particularly an eye-opener was not only the ups and downs, but things like how psychodrama was intricately interwoven with the start of groups, occupational therapy groups in South Africa, and projective techniques as well, and how some of that has actually, OTs have let go of that. And yet the call and the heart of the people that attended our conversations felt that it was something they really would like us to dust off and reignite the fire around that. And then also there was a lot of emphasis on saying there's so many more players in the field that are doing life skills, psychologists, counselors, physiotherapists, and that occupational therapists, the feeling was that occupational therapists need to become proud of our heritage and what unique things that we have to offer in terms of group therapy, how groups, task-based, occupational-based groups can really make a difference in clients' lives, and how when we really stay true to our profession, we bring something unique to our clients' social participation, occupational performance area, to be able to enhance that we go about things differently. And what's also interesting with that, there is less and less psycho-educational groups that are being presented, and that is left more for the other multidisciplinary team members. So it was just a wonderful experience, hearing everybody's stories and thinking about how we want to go forward. Then I thoroughly enjoyed Katekani. So it was the first time we actually guided and traveled. I traveled with somebody, journeyed with Katekani as she started to focus on her group facilitation skills, and we looked at very specific things that could help her enhance her group facilitation skills. So those of you that have not yet seen it, I encourage you to go and follow Katekani's journey. We've had 4 parts to her journey, and we hope to end with a 5th one in March next year. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of the things that she learned and that she gained are things that you can also gain from. But it was wonderful to just individually to journey and guide Katekani. And with that comes our Step Out program that was also presented this year. We started in July and we'll be going through until May next year. And wonderful, we've got 7 therapists. We had some more and then some didn't sign up. But it was wonderful to just see again how when we journey with people and we really hone in on what is your dream, with who would you like to work, and really kind of uncovering what is it about this population group you'd like to work with, and unearthing your passions and what you are good at, and bringing all of those elements together, looking at marketing and pricing and how to overcome self-sabotage, and to literally see how our group of therapists are keeping each other accountable and are staying on track with the program. It's wonderful to experience that. We've had some disappointments too, some lows this year. I am very fond of our Refining Gold program, which is how do we incorporate the interactive group model with mindfulness? Because there are so many overlapping elements in these 2 approaches and philosophies and theories, and how often mindfulness is incorrectly implemented in groups because people are kind of just taking one element but don't stay true to the real philosophy of mindfulness. And that unfortunately there wasn't enough interest and we had to cancel it. And that was quite a low for me because I'm very fond of the Refining Gold program and presenting that with Roulaine du Plessis. The other one is we also had to cancel our Bloemfontein Basic Experiential, which again was quite sad for us, but we are hopeful that in the coming year, in 2026, we will definitely be able to present one in Bloemfontein again. And so, what are the lessons that we've learned? I think for me, the biggest lesson is like business, as in life, and as we know in groups, it's to trust the process. How quick it is for me to stress when we have to cancel things, forgetting that there's a natural ebb and flow in life, and there's ebbs and flows in groups. And it comes down to, again, just trusting the process, trusting the outcome, not wanting to control things and to allow things to unfold as they should. And I think that was a big learning point for me in this coming year. Also, just again, how much I value human connection and the very sacred and precious moments that I experienced as a group facilitator, both within my hat as a more than facilitator in the community and also doing training for OTGrow and some of the groups there. And just how beautiful the whole process is when people can start connecting to each other. The vulnerable and heartfelt connections and the shifts that people make. It was also lovely to design for Western Cape OTASA an evening for them around change and adapting to change and just realizing and rediscovering maybe again how much I thoroughly enjoy designing groups. Not always leaning into the old trusted ones, but to sit back and think, let me not redo, let me design a brand new group, and how much I enjoy seeing it all come together. So how passionate I still am about humans, human connection, human engagement, human shifts, and people finding each other, about vulnerability and sacredness when we come together. And this brings us to our 2026. We've got some great surprises for you coming in 2026. So please go and have a look at our calendar. If you have not received our calendar and training schedule for 2026, please reach out to OTGrow@gmail.com and we'll send you a calendar as soon as possible. So there are some great surprises which I will introduce to you in the new year. And in the meantime, I hope you have a blessed Christmas. I hope you have a restful, festive season. And I hope that this will become a time for you to also reflect on the lessons you've learned in terms of your group facilitation, but also in terms of how far you've come in this year 2025, which was maybe not always easy. I am hoping and blessing you with a rest and restoration and recuperation so that 2026 may be a blessed year that exceeds your expectations. And so this is the last one for 2025. I'll see you in the new year. Happy facilitation.